Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are talking stocks and the best stocks specifically for 2021, the best industries that you can touch with your investing, and most importantly, how you can get in on these and what price points you want to enter and maybe consider exiting these positions as well. All of that will be covered, so stay tuned. It's going to be good. Let's get it. So far, 2021 has been an absolute ridiculous year when it comes to the stock market. Many of you have come to see my channel specifically because of that, and with the whole GameStop saga that happened, you guys saw how I went from my account with just a few $100s in it to up to $30,000 in just like 2 weeks. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity in the market, and I'm going to try and give you some plays that you can look into for the future, for this year, for the next few years, and a few different things that you can look at to try and get some solid returns for yourself as well. So let me preface the entire video by saying that I am in no way a financial expert. If you want to consult an expert, go ahead and talk to somebody else. I am just stating my opinion, and this is in no way financial advice, just entertainment purposes only. That is my disclaimer there, but simply, I like the stocks. And we're going to go over the stocks in just a moment, but one thing we got to address first is another disclaimer we got to go over and check out. The like button has not been smashed. Please, guys, smash the like button. And the reason why I asked you guys to smash the like button is because whenever a video gets a lot of engagement, whether it's likes or comments, whatever, it helps the video get pushed to a new audience, which in turn helps grow the channel, which in turn gives me a lot more people to talk at on the weekly. So if you can help me out do that, that would be fantastic. And with that said, we're moving on. Okay, I'm just going to take a little of that, and we're going to get going. So there's a few different stocks that we're going to talk about today that I think truly have a lot of potential for the year of 2021. Some of these have already had significant growth in this year, but I have them listed in this video because I believe they have still significant potential to grow and get a solid return, whether you're doing stocks or option plays. So the first stock I'm going to mention is actually Enphase, ticker symbol ENPH, and this is actually a direct competitor with Tesla in the space of those Powerwall battery things for your houses. Yeah, so they're actually a solid competitor in that market, and I do believe because Enphase is focused specifically on that one thing purposefully, that they're going to be able to consistently produce a better product than Tesla. And I've seen some reviews and some feedback on the Tesla's Powerwall systems and the solar panels they have as well, and a lot of them are not up to par with Enphase. So I think long term, they're a really solid play. Their quality is currently better than Tesla. And me personally, if I was to get a Powerwall system and solar panels and all that, I would probably go through Enphase before I go through Tesla. Now, I do think they're a great play long term, but especially with the current administration change here in the US, I think they're going to see a significant bump in share price and demand in the coming months. And my bullishness on this company is partly due to the fact that we are all kind of anticipating some green energy credits to be coming out pretty shortly. So there's going to be a lot of incentive to get systems like this for your home in the near future. And I do think they're going to see a significant amount of growth whenever the green energy package bill is put through. I don't know when that's going to happen. Could be the next few months, could be 6 months. I don't know. But it's a good place to get in right now before that big bump comes through and all these incentives come for these green energy alternatives. Additionally, I think there's a lot of demand for this type of product after what was seen in the South and Texas with the massive freeze that happened last month. A lot of people died because they didn't have power. It was a massive disruption. And I think having your own mini power grid to help offset some of the instability in the system that there is currently would be a huge thing for some people. So I think there's definitely a big market for this, big demand for it, and I think we're going to see it become more commonplace in the next months and years. And if you are buying this stock as of recording this video, the stock price is currently at $161, but I thoroughly believe that by the end of 2022, that it will be sitting at $450. Now, that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Again, this is just my estimate where I think it's going to go. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot of the time. But I do personally feel really good about this, and I bought a little bit into it just recently, so I think it's a good play. And if you're going to go with an option on this, I would go with a January January 2023 option for $320 strike price. Now the stock price could be literally anywhere in 2 years. It could be $5, it could be $500, I don't know, but my best guess is that it's going to be in the mid $400 range when the expiry on the option would come. So that would be my assessment for that specifically. So the next stock on my list is going to be Marathon Digital, and I really think they're a strong contender to be the next meme stock. So they have already had a massive run up in the past year, coming up over 10,000% since this time last year. Yeah, 10,000%. Their stock price was sitting at about 50 cents this time last year. The stock price is now $50, so a 100x return on the initial investment if you bought them back in April. The stock is currently sitting at $52, and the ticker symbol is MARA, or Mara, as it's been commonly called, and they're essentially a Bitcoin mining company. Now, what's unique about them in the Bitcoin mining company space is that they actually have a very significantly high ability to mine Bitcoin. So I mentioned RIOT in last week's video, and they're phenomenal. They're a great company, and I do have some money in them, but they don't have nearly the mining capacity that Mara does. So Mara has a 10.3 exahashes per second mining rate, and RIOT has a 1.4 exahash per second mining rate. So essentially that's the rate at which they can mine Bitcoin, simply put. And with the current price of Bitcoin around $57,000 per coin, they're bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. Sorry, they're able to bring in about $100 million per month in profit with their current mining rates. And so there's a theory out there about Bitcoin that it has a 4-year super cycle, as they call it. And so every 4 years since inception, in the late fall time, around November-ish, it has seen its peak and added another 0 to its value. So with that established, there's a theory out there saying that in November, in the fall time, there's going to be a massive run-up of Bitcoin from its current valuation up to $250,000 or somewhere around that range. That's the current theory. I don't think it'll accelerate that fast, that far. I think maybe $150,000 is more realistic. But either way, I do think Bitcoin is going to have a significant run-up, and because this company is tied pretty closely to the Bitcoin price, I do believe this stock is going to see a big run-up as well. And so I think a price target for this stock, I mean, realistically, it could get to 175 by the end of the year if variables kind of go in the way that they're looking like they will. Again, this is my analysis, not an expert. This is just what I think. And so currently the price is $52. I think it's going to go to 175. And so if you're going to get an option on this, which is probably one of the better options to take, I think a option for January 2022 with a $85 strike price would be a pretty safe place to be. Now, this stock is pretty volatile, and because of that, the premium on the options are a little pricey, but I definitely think with this potential upswing of 300 to 400% on the stock price, I think paying a higher premium will be worth it in this case, because worst case scenario, you're out maybe $1,500 for the option, but if Bitcoin goes to the moon and the stock price 3 to 4x's, you could potentially see a 10 or 20x return on your initial investment if things go that way. Now, that's just my analysis. It could go the total opposite way. I don't know, but I do think this is a solid buy. And I'm going to wait for a good red day for Marathon to actually go ahead and try and buy into one of these options. It's been on a pretty solid tear recently, and I'm just waiting for a good red day for that premium to be cut back on those options pretty significantly. So I'm waiting for that to buy in for this thing here, but I do have plans on entering a position on Marathon. So we'll see how that goes. Last up is going to be Carnival Cruise Lines. Now, I mentioned a cruise in my last video as well, and there's a reason for that. I think there's a significant amount of potential for this industry in the coming months. With things reopening, with the world kind of returning to a state of normalcy, I do think there's going to be a significant uptick in cruises booked, and with that will come an increased stock price due to demand being realized for this service. Currently, the Carnival Cruise Line stock price is up about 9% this past month, and for the year it's up 206%. It actually got down to a price of about $8 at the very trough of the beginning of the pandemic when the stock market absolutely pooped the bed, and it's doing much better now. It's sitting at $28 a share, and I think it's going to get to about $50 by the end of the year. And the reason why this stock is on my list is due to one specific thing, and that is that every other industry that was affected negatively by the pandemic, specifically the travel industry, so hotel and airline stocks, those have both significantly come back up from their lows back in April of 2020 to a more pre-COVID level now. But the cruise lines, they haven't yet. And I think there's a significant opportunity in the cruise sector because they haven't seen the run-up from the pre-COVID levels, really. They've come back a little bit, but they're still significantly discounted as compared to what they should be at. And so if you are going to be buying into this, I would recommend doing that rather soon, waiting for a good red day to buy your stocks or options. And if you're going to buy options, this is what I would buy if I was in your position. I would seriously look at the January 2020 options with a $40 strike price. I do think it's going to get to about $50 by the end of the year, so a $40 strike price would be relatively in the money. It should be at least at that point in time. Again, this is my analysis, this is my assumption, just my opinion, and so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing. I like the stock. I eat crayons. Okay, and with that said, that's all from me for today. If you guys liked the video, please subscribe, leave a like, comment down below. And if you want to get some sweet merch, we have that down below too. Also, there's free stocks in the description. There's a whole free section, a whole bunch of free stuff you can get. If you want to get a credit card, there's links to that down there. If you want to get free stocks from Webull and Robinhood, there's free stocks down there too. A lot of sweet stuff. And that's it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.